Hello, this is Let's Finally Watch It, where we watch the movies that you probably saw decades ago that one or both of us have failed to see. I am Lauren-Blair Donovan.
And I'm Canez.
And today, I am watching, for the first time, sort of, E.T.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's,
It's weird because I think I was telling you this, it's like a family inside joke that I can't verify super well because most people involved are dead, but like my parents with I think my aunt and other people saw E.T. in the theaters, and it was like an experience because this was like a cinematic blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
But they had this like dumb inside joke about there was like this promotional huge bag of popcorn that was like the size of a human. And when they went to go get popcorn, my mom and my aunt brought in, as a joke, they made friends with the concession stand guy and brought in all the popcorn, just like a visual gag. My family's pretty silly. And it's been an inside joke. My aunt even added that inside joke to my dad's eulogy.
Yeah.
So I should have seen this movie because we have family folklore about this movie.
Yeah.
But I did see an hour of it, also at an outdoor cinema thing.
Which is hard to concentrate.
But what's weird is everyone was quiet. And I did see the first hour, and I liked it. I was enchanted, but I had to be somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I had to go, but I literally did have to leave. So
yeah,
I am glad I finally get to, watch it in its entirety, because I probably don't remember the first hour super well, but I'm excited to see the whole thing now, too.
Yeah, it'll be, I think it's good. I will say it's not necessarily my favorite, actually.
Oh, okay.
But I do like it.
This is a new choice because I feel like, let me look at our little list.
Yeah.
You didn't have anything bad to say about Wizard of Oz Coming to America or Ghostbusters. So this is the first time you're like, I don't dislike it, but it's not my. You're disclaiming it more than the past.
Yeah, I'm saying that because I think I had watched it recently, and I'm like, oh, it's a little bit slow. There's something. Okay, it's a Steven Spielberg movie. The thing that I like and I don't like about some Steven Spielberg movies is that the fantastical parts are very great, super amazing, but the kind of boring. And I get it. There has to be a yin yang.
Yeah.
So the boring parts. I'm definitely. I mean, it's up there for me. It's up there for me. I'm not 100% certain about how it's aged. Nothing bad or anything, but I just don't know how. I guess just because it's been done so many times now, a similar story, you'll see it, and and I think that there's. I think it's good for an alien story, Yeah.
Did Alf rip it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. But I mean, just any family living with a alien story. But yeah, Alf. I
How many other
Alf.
stories like that are there?
There's Mac and Me, which was a McDonald's movie, basically.
McDonald's movie.
It was the ripoff. But then there's also Harry and the Hendersons, which is a Bigfoot. But I don't think I think it's gonna be good. I'm just putting it out there that I don't know how well the pacing is. It might be a little boring. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but I love it. It's literally the first movie I ever watched in the theater.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
When I was a baby, I was 6 months old, and my parents decided to take me to that. And it was my first movie. It's good. It's good. I don't know why I'm making it seem like that.
No, we're talking about the nitty gritty gray areas of all these movies.
Yeah.
That's why we go deep dives into the trivia or the point of view of the writing or characters. So
And I think also because Coming to America, when we watched it, I was like, oh shit, it's not as funny as I thought it was. So so I have a bit of that. But yeah, it's great. Good special effects, I think.
Yeah.
And William Shakespeare. Steven Spielberg is a master director, and this was pretty prime.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg times.
This feels like one of those movies that's on every Hollywood's greatest 100 movies list, whether it ranks high or low. It's on every list of capital M movies.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like have a stranglehold on American culture. Like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they even had a ride at Universal Studios, and they still have it in Florida.
Yeah,
So
I've been on that ride. I really like it.
Oh, you've been on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was fun. I like that one.
It's going to be very different than at least the end part. The end part of that ride where they're on the planet.
Oh, I don't remember it very well. But I
just
know
I liked
great.
it.
Yeah.
That was a very fun ride. And they say E.T. says your name at the end, and I used to put random names and just to get him to say funny things.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it's good. I'm worried that it might be a little slow.
It's so interesting because when I was watching it sometime in the past decade, I don't know when, but I was in Denver, I know that, so over 5 years ago for sure. I was very enthralled. So, but I had a different, I guess, lens for watching movies than I do now. So I don't know, we'll see. But
yeah, you'll definitely see. It's but it's sweet. It is sweet. It's a kids movie. It's
a family movie, right?
Yeah, it's a family movie.
Yeah, I feel like this is sort of like a weird middle ground of like some of the movies I haven't seen where I could probably name a lot of the plot points pretty verbatim, but I think there's a lot that I don't know about. So it's like a weird hybrid of Wizard of Oz meets Ghostbusters, where like I was shocked at how much I didn't know about Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But Wizard of Oz, there was only 1 or 2 scenes where I'm like, I did not know about that, or I did not see, so because I feel like, isn't this about a family maybe going through a divorce or something?
Oh yeah. Wow. That's usually the thing that people don't pick up on, but
I did see the first hour, so I think somewhere in there that maybe got glued into my brain. Drew Barrymore, obviously, is in it.
She's great.
She's one of your favorites.
Yeah. I love her so much. I just love her. Yeah.
What's not to love? I mean, my God. And they shenanigans ensue when extraterrestrial. I'm unclear as to how he becomes basically the new family member, but they hide him. They put him in disguises.
Yeah.
There's something about phoning home, and then there's with the moon and the red hoodie and the bike and all that stuff. So
it's a literal logo of Amblin Entertainment.
Yes.
So it's
again stranglehold on culture, iconic.
Yeah. So. And it's fun, and E.T.'s very cute.
He is. I agree with that. So I call her E.T. sometimes when she's looking extra bug-eyed. I'm like, come here, E.T., come here. She's sleeping, so she's not going to be looking at the YouTube pretty camera right now. But yeah, so I'm excited to see it. This is not Avatar kicking and screaming.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited to finally watch it.
Right, and it's very good. I know I was sounding very negative, but yeah. Oh, and there's also some side things. We'll get to it, I guess. Yeah, right. There's some interesting things.
Gotcha.
That I'll get to after you watch it.
All right, awesome. So we're gonna go watch it. The magic of podcasting. We'll be back in like a second. Realistically, we'll be back in like 2 weeks, but we'll see you soon. And I'm gonna come back being an E.T. super fan, or I'm going to be like, you're right, Clark, it didn't, the pacing sucked, and I got other complaints to lodge, so we'll find out. Stay tuned.
Bye. And we're back.
I've seen E.T. now.
You've seen it.
Finally.
I know.
In its entirety, at least.
Doesn't it feel like a milestone now?
It does. I feel like a more full person for having seen a lot of these movies. I'm like, I'm an American now. I was born here, but I feel like an American.
I know. Okay, I'm glad you feel foreign. I've always felt foreign.
Yeah.
I think it's because I watched a lot of English stuff when I was a kid.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because like even when I ask questions, I'm like, did you go to the park? And like I go up at the end. As opposed to like Americans. I don't know how they say it because I'm not American.
You're right.
I'm obviously not American. Anyways, yes, you've seen E.T.
Like most Americans have.
Yeah. Yes. But I think also universally, it's probably like a universal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's a worldwide phenomenon, I'm sure. But yeah, I liked it. I have a few bones to pick, but I did like it.
Yeah,
I get why it has a stranglehold, which I guess is my word for these popular movies on culture. Like, I get it. I get it.
Okay. I think I'm worried that when I was talking about it in the intro, I may have been like a little, but I think you kind of got what I was saying.
Yeah.
It is a little bit slower than you would think, or it's just not the. If you were to abbreviate it, you would cut out so much in your head,
You
basically.
could cut out. Well, you know what's so funny? I was at a party and I was talking to someone recently, and by party I mean my own birthday party.
Oh, okay.
And someone else had not seen ET, and we were both surprised at like how much we didn't know ET died.
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
That, like, you know how like I knew the Wizard of Oz almost beat for beat?
Yeah.
ET is out there in the world. I did not know ET died and then pulled a Jesus H. Christ and like resurrected, and like I just didn't know anything about any of that, so I was quite confused knowing that they hadn't even flown by the moon yet on the bicycle, and I'm like, he's dead though. He's dead.
Yeah,
they buried the lead in pop culture. Like they don't talk. They do not spoil that for you.
I think that's probably the least. Funny enough, probably the most traumatizing.
Someone told me that too, that traumatized them as an 8-year-old.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
upsetting.
I get it. I'm glad I did not see this as an 8-year-old.
Right. I think the worst. I remember seeing ET like face down in the water, and I remember. I mean, he's all gray and everything.
It's scary. It's bad. It's
yeah.
It's not good.
We just us as kids. I mean. It's traumatizing as an adult too. And rewatching it, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I wouldn't be okay. I'm not okay after it. And I know everything's fine, but like,
and that's what comforted me too. I'm like, I'm an adult woman. I know there's a happy ending, but still, he's dead, and it's confusing.
Yeah. God, wouldn't it have been crazy if they just? He died.
He died.
Sucks.
Goodbye.
Sorry.
Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
Alien dead. Bye.
But what did you think about like his personality? Like, were you endeared to him? Because I really wonder about that. Because like I watched it when I was a kid. Obviously, it was literally the first movie I ever watched in the theater. And I think he's cute, but he's not like
he's not adorable.
He's not adorable. Yeah,
he's like how some dogs are so ugly they're cute.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just certain breeds. Yeah, I think he was endearing. I think what made him endearing was probably because he was just as afraid of Elliot as Elliot was of him. I think that was a great plot-telling device, because it like established him as not a threat.
Right.
And it's cute to see different humanoid but not quite things have just like us, like stars just like us, like extraterrestrials just like us.
I know.
It does disarm you a little bit.
Right.
He did seem, I don't know, he low-key seemed either exactly how an extraterrestrial would, because what would they want to explore, or he seemed kind of dumb. I don't know which, because like he just got drunk.
Yeah.
Like that's it's funny, I'm not mad at it. It's a little random, like you would think he would be more fascinated by the TV, maybe, like the buttons, like he flew here on a spaceship, you would think he'd be interested in Earth's technology, but instead he went for the Miller Lite, and like that's a choice, and I'm not mad at it, but he, his personality besides not being a threat is not the most defined.
Yeah,
what do you think, having seen this a lot?
As far as like, I think of him as an explorer, I guess, and so I really do kind of. And also, I'll be honest, like in rewatching it, like when Elliot's like showing him all the stuff, I'm like, Elliot's kind of a dumbass. Like he's kind of a dumbass. He's like, this is a peanut, but it's actually a bank, and let's just keep it simple.
Well, he is
like,
8, right?
He is 8. I know.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that E.T. really was able to figure out. Also, I feel like maybe E.T., even before they got to Earth, they did some vetting and they probably knew at least a little bit about Earth.
Yeah, you would think that they've heard of Earth before, if nothing else. Like, it didn't feel random. Because it felt like they knew what they were doing. It felt like they were just making a pit stop almost. Like, and refueling before going back on the highway that's the interstellar galactic Milky Way. I don't know what it is, but
the Milky Way Express.
Right, like Milky Way 101, like and but so like here's the thing that we're kind of touching on something that I found super interesting, and it's just like a food for thought kind of thing. Do you think that if whether we lived in Southern California or not, but if we were just not in the industry, do you think that we would have some different reactions to some of these movies? And I don't mean that like there's so many smart people out there that we're in a different age of storytelling, like post, especially golden age of television, where things are more intricate and like detailed, and there's really not a lot of like plot holes. So like a lot of audiences have wised up to,
yeah,
you know what I mean,
the
like
formula.
Yeah, or like pointing out plot holes or toxic behaviors or whatever. But as a writer, like part of why I don't watch a lot of TV and movies anymore is it's kind of like ruined for me to some extent, because I sort of see where stuff is going, or I see the plot holes, or I think the choices are weird.
Yeah.
And I have a few, kind of like Elliot not being that smart, or why didn't ET know more, or whatever.
Right.
There's a few others we'll probably get to, but do you think that we'd be having different reactions if we didn't meet by being comedians in Hollywood and Hollywood, you know?
I don't know.
Ruined for us.
I know. I think about that as far as like comedy goes.
Oh,
too.
for sure. Yeah.
Just like that structure. But yeah, when you start breaking down like scripts and stuff, it's like the MacGuffin, the whatever plot devices are being used. You're like, oh, I mean, it's just like, you know, we're gonna touch on this later, but baseball. Like when somebody's like, "Oh, that's a curveball," and
right?
I don't know. That's like he threw the ball fast and it went this way, or
right?
whatever. You know, and so like the ins and outs. But I do think, funny enough, when I watched it as a kid, even I feel like I did understand some of the plot devices that Steven Spielberg was using in it. Like, for one thing, just the mundaneness of the mundane and the spectacular of the spectacular.
Sure.
And I think as a kid, even as a kid, I kind of understood that there needs to be a big shift, a big juxtaposition. Because this also relates to another Steven Spielberg-ish, I think it's a Steven Spielberg movie, which is called Poltergeist, which I know you haven't seen.
I have not seen.
Okay.
Is that Steven Spielberg? I didn't know that.
I want to say it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But it starts off the same way. Mundane.
Right. It's like suburbia. It's a suburban family that gets poltergeisted, right?
Yeah, but then it gets scary as fuck.
Right.
You know, so it's almost like this beat for beat for beat, except for instead of a cute alien, you have a tree that tries to eat someone.
Cool.
But I do feel like we would know that. Yeah, a little bit.
I also just get really nitpicky too, because like I'm gonna jump ahead or / jump back to the whole him dying and coming back thing. I was talking to you afterwards. I was like, but how did he come back alive? And you were like, because you think that you explain it. I'm not gonna give.
My theory is E.T. He created a symbiotic relationship with Elliot, and at the beginning of the movie, when they're exploring, when the ship first lands in San Fernando Valley, they're looking around. They get scared by something. Whether it's an animal, I don't remember if it was what it was, but
me either.
All of them, their hearts lit up.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh my god!"
Right.
Almost like if one saw it, the other ones felt it. So I personally, what I thought is that he came back to life, or he died basically because he wasn't
with Elliot.
He wasn't with. Yeah, I think that might have been it too. Oh shit, I didn't. Yeah, so he was away from people that he had a symbiotic relationship with. So I think with his family coming back after he called them, that's what brought him back to life. That's my theory, and I don't know why, but that's something that I've known, but I don't know if I heard it somewhere or if it was something that I figured out. I don't think I figured it out because I'm not that smart, but
he is. I'll vouch for him. But here's the thing, though. This is my bone to pick. Like, that's a great theory, and I don't have anything to critique about it. That sounds right to me. But why the fuck? I don't know if we're allowed to curse yet on this podcast, but why did we not get that told? Like, it's such a weird leap to me. Like, having watched this as an adult for the first time, I didn't know E.T. died, and suddenly he's alive. That's a lot of, like, legwork. That's a lot of mental gymnastics for a viewer to watch. And I feel like before turn of this newer millennium, storytelling, like people were maybe better at making jumps and being like, oh cool, it's a miracle. But in this kind of cynical age, I'm like, this is terrible storytelling. And nothing against Steven Spielberg, but like, it's a great movie, but like that really...
He's also Steven Spielberg.
He's Steven Spielberg, but I'm also like, why didn't he explain why the freaking extraterrestrial came back to life? Like, I have questions. And I don't think that would fly now. I think you would have to explain stuff now. Yeah,
which I get it both ways. I personally prefer it the way that it is. Because when they're in the like the bubble or whatever, when they're in the bubble,
the Iron Lung,
the government bubble, when they're in there, they show that the brainwaves are the same. They show that the heart rate is the same. So like, I think for me, I was just that's something I guess maybe that people
But I thought he flatlined at one point too.
So they ended up separating, and yeah, you're right. They did separate at a certain point, and he died, and that's when he died. But
it's just and I'm all for mystery. I don't like one of my favorite movies is Virgin Suicides, and there's a lot that's not explained there too, and that's fine. That's part of the story of it, but sometimes I'm just overly logical, and I'm like, explain it to me so I can understand. And,
for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing, and I think we touched on like a couple of other movies too, is where it's like they could spend time doing that, or they could just show them playing D&D at the beginning of the movie. Like it's weird. It is weird what people tend to focus on, because I forget how long was this movie. It wasn't that long. It was like
it was under 2 hours,
just a hair under 2.
Like 140, I want to say.
Yeah, and I feel like they could have added something. I know there's some deleted scenes that they added recently that may have. Harrison Ford's in it. In fact, he plays the teacher. He plays one of Elliot's teachers, or Elliot's
in the version
principal.
we saw?
No, he wasn't in it. But there is a scene that Harrison Ford was 100% in. They just cut it, which is kind of crazy because they got Harrison Ford. Like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, Indy.
Right.
And which you haven't seen either. But I think that I'm personally fine with it. And you know what? In my opinion, I think I don't mind if people have to figure it out. I guess that's do or die. That's my libertarian, because I'm a libertarian.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. But yeah, people need to figure it out on their own. Thank you. I'm not. I'm joking.
I don't know. For me, that just felt like a huge plot point to figure out on.
It's fine.
So, like, that's where I'm at. But, yeah, it was, but other than that, there may have been something else. But for the most part, like, some things were a little abrupt, like when the astronauts or NASA people just invaded the house. Like, that felt like a fever dream.
Say
it's called
something.
Search warrants. It's called search warrants.
Give a phone call. Like, hey, we're going to come in. We're going to have, like, some pretty intense suits. We're going to straight up be, like, a shiny Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Coming in. And I remember, so as a kid, I remember being like, oh my God, that is terrifying. And they're only wearing astronaut suits. They're just wearing astronaut suits.
That's why it feels like a fever dream, because it's like, why?
I'm surprised I'm not afraid of astronauts. But,
you should be. That's scarier than E.T. himself.
Yes.
Because, like, they also could have, like, been like, we have to search your house, have a conversation. They just, like, busted in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they snuck in beforehand as well. Yeah. And it's a big invasion of privacy.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even sure that initial break-in was like necessary. Like,
it was dramatic for drama's sake.
Yeah.
That's how it read to me, which really surprised me because it's Spielberg and it's like a beloved movie, and I'm like, this could have been better done. Yeah.
But like I was saying, there was one part where they initially broke into the house, and they're using light in such a particular way that I actually really loved, and Steven Spielberg went to USC. He knows about like these experimental like lighting techniques, and I feel like he did a good job of like
Oh yeah.
using that. I mean, it was menacing.
Yeah.
So
Job well done there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think my only other real bone to pick was just the mom, and I understand she was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And I understand it was a plot device to keep the alien hidden, and you know, for her to be like aloof and daft and like unaware. But it just like she had no other personality.
Yeah.
She was not a fleshed out woman. She was borderline negligent, like in a way that was like innocent, but she wasn't mean. But like,
I've got to go to the school.
Negligent.
You stay here.
The 3-year-old, 3-year-old Drew Barrymore left. No wonder she grew up to have some problems before she became the national treasure that she. No,
yeah, no,
it's not because of the ET mom. It's other reasons. But it's like, God, she couldn't even get a good TV or movie mom.
Yeah,
you know, she had a bad deal in real life and bad deal in ET. She's a 3-year-old by herself watching TV while mom goes to the school.
And I think, interestingly, I feel like the 80s that was kind of like a big time where like latchkey
I was
kids,
just gonna use that term.
which I hate, which is a weird term. I mean, I kind of was at certain, but I was a very good kid. I was very good, and my parents. I mean, I did build bombs or whatever, but
Great kid.
I didn't blow up the house. And sorry, Mom, that was that hole in the backyard, by the way. But I did think that in the second watch for me, or like this recent watch, I really kind of saw that the brother was the one who was really trying to keep things together in the family, though, too.
He was my favorite character, actually. Because in the beginning, literally my first note is, oh, geez, the 12-year-olds are protecting the house of knives. And I said something, I love how the older brother is having an existential crisis on the bus, like when they're going to school. And I was just like kind of snarking on the kid, but within like the first probably 30 minutes, I was like, oh no, this is a fine young man who is a good actor, and he was my favorite. Yeah. He really was my favorite.
I was really surprised in watch, because when you're a kid, you're conditioned so many things. And this movie kind of hits all those tropes. Your little sister's going to be annoying. Your older brother, I don't have an older brother, but yeah, your older brother's going to be a dick.
And not want you to play with him.
Yes.
Middle children just are overlooked.
So there was a lot of that for sure, but you know, watching it and seeing his performance and his motivations and stuff, you know, him defending his mom and being like, hey, dumbass, like, don't bring up that our dad went to Mexico. Like, why are you doing that? And it's like, I wish, and in watching this again, I was like, why wasn't he the one? He should have been in charge. I kind
of low-key thought that too. Like,
I would have been like, I'm sorry, Elliot, but you're a dumb kid. You're a dumb child, and I am older and I'm just smarter. Like,
I know.
You're gonna end up getting this guy
I
killed.
wouldn't have even cared if it was like about the older boy entirely, and then he just had a middle child brother and Drew Barrymore as a sister. Like, it was just such a grounded performance, and it was such a believable thing to have a kid be kind of mean and want to be like with his friends and not his brother, but he does care about his family, and he does have these deep emotions that like a river in winter where he's just trying to not act like he does, though. That's such a believable 12 to 14-year-old boy thing. Right.
And you're so I feel bad because I feel like I've not maligned him over the years, but just like, oh, he's that. I mean, I had cousins like that, so that were like, you know, penis breath, which is like
great line,
an insane thing to call a kid
insane thing for a kid to call a kid.
Yeah,
like
that is but whatever, because that whole beginning part, you know, he was the quintessential
big brother
and stuff.
But that's the thing, when we're younger, we get triggered by the people that are peers in the movies that we don't like, and when we're older, we're like, you poor babies, you're all babies trying to figure it out. So that's why we both are like, we like Elliot's brother.
And also, like, another thing about it too is before I really vilified the scientists. Of course, don't come in with full spacesuits, but
that's weird.
But these scientists are, you know, visually And I think even cinematic, there's some cinematic tricks that they did to make them seem so menacing and foreboding every time they're on screen.
Absolutely.
But they would have been in such, E.T. would have been in such better hands if he would have gone to them. I know that's...
Would they have released him back to his family?
Maybe, I don't know.
That makes me sad if that wasn't the case.
I don't know about that, but the lead, the guy with the keys, what was his name?
Peter Coyote.
Peter Coyote.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him because like I'd seen him in other stuff, but like it took me a minute to place him. I had to like IMDb. I'm like, wait, is that who I think it is?
Because I was like, is that Eric Roberts? No, he would have been too
young
for that.
Oh, they do kind of look alike. They don't, but they do.
They don't, but
I get why you would be like, is that Eric Roberts?
Right. I mean, because you only see him towards the end.
Head of hair, and like Eric Roberts is a hair guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's Julia Roberts' sister, right? Their brother and sister, right? Yeah. That she's teeth and smile, and he's like hair.
Yeah, for sure. And he's great. He's great too. But Peter Coyote was great, and I do feel like they did kind of. But I think he really did care about E.T. I mean,
he was nice. He did a good job with that because I don't think he was given a lot to work with, to be honest. Like, I don't think that was a very fleshed out character at all. Again, I'm gonna like kind of ding Mr. Spielberg for that, but he's a good actor, so he did a good job. I couldn't figure out if him and the mom were gonna get together, and I was so relieved that they didn't, because we just did not need a romantic alien comedy. Like, we just didn't need
focus on something else. Focus on his backstory then.
Absolutely.
Like, instead of doing that.
Absolutely.
And I think, because he did mention, I've been like looking for this since I was like 6 years old, since I was your age, basically, to Elliot, when he had that heart-to-heart with him.
Yeah.
And I really think that was like, oh, okay, this guy actually does care. Like, he really doesn't want to dissect. Because like growing up, like whenever I look back on this movie, I was like, oh, they're gonna dissect him, and like, and I was like, no, they were keeping him alive as good better than Elliot was. He was feeding him beer, Reese's Pieces. He was eating random shit. Like, I don't think he was. And we don't know how aliens would even react in our atmosphere. Right? Like,
I know.
And I think when they were going through the house the first time, they had Geiger counters. That was that clicking sound, and that picks up radiation, and it was clicking pretty hard. So I'm like, E.T. could have 100% been radioactive.
Toxic.
Yeah, toxic. Like,
toxic with a heart of gold.
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
Literally. At least the light up part, but like toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. Wait, why did I write this? Sleep hypnosis? I don't even know why I wrote this. Sorry. Oh, come back to that.
It's hard out of context. Okay, two thoughts though about the children of it all. This was really heavy. I wonder what it was like to be one of those child actors on that set. It's like you have to be like children of recent divorce.
Yeah.
Hosting an alien. Oh no, alien's gonna get kidnapped in their mind by the government, by the scary astronauts. That's like, I feel like this was still a time, I mean, we're still not great with child actors. We could be so much better, but we have come a long way, technically. It's like one of those space for both things to be true kind of scenarios, but I don't think anyone was thinking about the psychological well-being of the types of roles that children take on. Right. I think that's at least a part of the dialogue now. It's not, it wasn't in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was just like, man, this is so heavy, and this is a children-based movie. Like, wow.
Because were we talking about it? This could have been something that we didn't talk about, but the way that they said, he said goodbye to Elliot, or Elliot said goodbye to E.T., I think Steven Spielberg told him, after this, this thing's not gonna be a thing anymore, that we're gonna destroy the puppet. So this is literally you saying goodbye to E.T. Okay, I guess we didn't talk about it because you look shocked.
Yeah, if you're on audio, my jaw's on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the way that they got that scene. So when he is like emotional, he really thinks that he created this bond with, because I think the way that they wrote it, it was like like pretty much chronological with the movie.
Yeah.
So
the way
that
they
was
filmed it,
the way they filmed it, and I think that was the last scene actually.
Wow.
So I think so that reaction that Elliot, the actor, he was literally saying goodbye to ET forever. That's traumatizing.
Yeah.
We're going back to your point.
That's like crazy. Like I understand you have to get a performance. There was some movie, I'm not thinking of it offhand. Oh, I think it was Lion King, because JTT was the young Lion King. And they said when like they were looking, when he was trying to figure out if Mufasa had died, because he was notoriously very close with his mom, who was also his manager, and they're like, act like your mom died.
Oh my god.
That's how they got. Not that he was like a bad actor, nor was Elliot, but like, they're 10. They're 10. Like that's like.
And trust issues. My goodness.
Yeah, like it's no wonder that like we need to stop like making fun of children, child stars that their life goes awry. It's not a relatable thing. It's like if you haven't lived it, don't make fun of it. But also, speaking of child stars, Drew Barrymore is a freaking star.
Oh yeah, she's
stole the show. I still like the Big Brother character best, but every time she was on camera, I was like, what a natural. She's such a Barrymore.
And I think like, that's it. Is she's natural when she's acting like a little kid. She's giving a good performance, but still acting like a little kid, like
grounded in a weird way. Because I hate precocious children. Nothing drives me crazier than when kids are just precocious to be precocious. Actually, that's a lie. Precocious adults drive me even more crazy. They exist. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when adults are like plucky and like they have catchphrases, or they like are just like smiley for no reason, you know it's fake. Like there's someone in the improv scene that's very precocious, but I'm not gonna drop that name. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay. Oh, I'm so excited.
I just found out Russell doesn't like this person either. There's like, I'm right.
Oh shoot. Okay.
What were you doing?
No, I was gonna write it down so I
won't forget. I won't forget talking smack. But yeah, like precocious children drive me up a wall. Drew Barrymore was just adorable. Yeah. There's a difference between precocious and adorable. I don't like precocious.
And I think like she was very natural in that, and I think I always talk about how much I adore her so much. Like she's, and now with her TV show, I love her TV show. If you guys haven't watched her TV show, so
anybody else would. She was because Blake, our friend Blake, gave me the Jeanette McCurdy book for my birthday. I'm glad my mom died, and I watched her on the Drew Barrymore show because Blake gave me that book because we both had some trauma in our childhoods involving our mothers. And basically, I don't know who Jeanette McCurdy is though. Because I didn't watch her shows. So I was like doing a deep dive before I started reading the book, which I love so far, by the way. And she was on Drew Barrymore's show and they were bonding because they were both child actors with problematic moms. And Drew was being, and I mean this in a good way that I wouldn't mean for other people, but she was almost over the top with how she was reacting to Jeanette. But it's Drew Barrymore, so it's natural. Like, you know, some people are just like, oh my god, we have so much in common, or I felt for you so much, oh my god, you just illuminated something for me. And you're like, shut up. But she's so, it's who she is.
No,
it's who she is.
Her
and it works.
Yeah.
It works. I love her. She's a national treasure.
Yeah, she really is. I mean, she's just, I'm so glad that she has that show, to be honest, because it really does get to highlight that, you know, the non-performing part. Yeah.
I have a fun Drew Barrymore story and Steven Spielberg story. Do you know this? Yeah. Just because, you know, she did grow up and had some problems for a minute before she like turned it around. But there was in the 90s, I think it may have been a magazine shoot, but I think it was when she actually flashed David Letterman on his show. Steven Spielberg kind of assumed the role of like surrogate, maybe not father, but like uncle. Like they always stayed in touch, which I love about Steven Spielberg. He does seem to care so much about the people he works with, and I think that is amazing for a director, especially a straight white male cis director. Like that's off. Like that's the exception, not the rule. Not at all. But like he's pretty scandal free, I think. But so anyway, I forget what it was, but he like called her or wrote her, was like, I hope you don't have you know you don't have to do this to get attention or to get like, I forget what it was, but it was like fatherly without being too like terrible, but just kind of like So she staged a photo shoot of her being a nun around town and praying.
Oh my god.
And sent it to him just as like a funny little like gag
Yeah.
gift, like "I'll be better, Steven," or something like that. It's somewhere on YouTube. She tells the story
very
better than me
cute.
because I think he was on her show.
Oh,
And
wow.
they told that. Look up that clip.
I'll
Actually,
look
that's
that up, yeah.
what I'm referencing. I just
Yeah.
remembered that's exactly where that anecdote came from. But
Yeah.
it's like a story that would not be adorable from other people,
Mhm.
but it's really adorable because it's Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore and Steven Spielberg.
And also she has that like lisp. And she
Yeah.
still has it she had it as a kid,
Mhm.
she still has it.
Oh,
And it's
so
adorable.
cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And I think yeah, and I do feel because I do actually like the actress who played the mom.
Yeah,
But
it was just a bad role though.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It wasn't her fault.
Right, and but I mean, I couldn't imagine. I would be like, wow, this kid is amazing. I would just be distracted all the time.
I know.
And then oh yeah, and also the reason why we're releasing it around in October is because it has some
October.
pretty good Halloween
Yeah.
Halloween-y time.
It's a fall movie.
I know.
They go trick or treating.
I know. I really like that when movies are subtly in a season.
Yeah, because it's like a
that.
slice of life
Mhm.
without it being like the Halloween movie. Like,
Right,
yeah.
it adds the context around it,
Mhm.
and you know what? Okay, one movie that I thought, or one part of the movie that I thought was crazy was the whole frog scene. There's
That was
just
insane.
so much
That was
going on, and that seems so supernatural to me more than the flying or anything.
I think I literally stopped you even before that. I'm like, did you dissect frogs in the second grade? Because I didn't freaking knew that in the second grade. That was like high school
No.
or middle school level stuff.
That
I'm
was
like,
high school. Yeah.
this is another example of like adults not remembering their childhood
I think so.
correctly. Like
I-
this is not an elementary school. You don't
Yeah.
give kids knives to take apart animals when they can
Mhm.
barely cut scissors correctly.
Seriously. And also, when I dissected a frog, it was in formaldehyde. It was not
They didn't kill it.
fresh. Yes. Those kids killed those frogs. Like, that's insane to
Like,
think
that's-
about.
Oh god, like that was so gruesome. Like that was like my least favorite part because it was
I-
just like too much. I didn't like it.
Right. I dreaded going to school because of
Mhm.
that. Like,
Yeah,
literally,
I
I
don't blame
really
you.
dreaded.
I did
And-
even before I saw that movie. I'm not going to go to school now and dissect frogs, but like I would have been extra afraid of it.
Right,
If I had seen
yeah.
it as a kid.
Yeah. So I think as far as, like, the whole movie goes, I think for me, that was, like, the most...
It was just like, I mean, I like that Elliot was like, "Free the frogs," but
Yeah,
it was
I liked
it was a
that
bit
part of
much.
it,
And then
yeah.
he kissed the prettiest girl.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Who's a foot taller than her. Whatever, people grow at different heights. It's fine. But like, I think it just would have been funnier if you like. A, I don't think the 8-year-olds need to be kissing. But
Mhm.
B, if they were gonna make that choice, like, did they have to pick the model-esque girl?
I
Like,
know.
the patriarchy, man. Like, it would have been
Exactly.
funnier to pick the girl with glasses, little Lainey Boggs or Briggs or whatever her
Mhm.
name is from She's All
Right.
That. Like, I don't know, or I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't care for that. That didn't
Yeah.
do anything for me. It just made me roll my
Funny,
eyes.
yeah, and you know what? It's weird because as a kid I liked that part, and then like watching it.
Probably because it
now,
was aspirational.
I
you know?
guess so, yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I could kiss a girl and she'd like it. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. But I think there are so many other ways they could have done that. And then also the thing that I was going to talk about, and I know you haven't seen it yet, but
Mhm.
E.T.'s actually in the Star Wars universe. Did we talk about this a little bit?
You hinted at it, and I did read though that the Yoda at the Halloween was like an
Mhm.
inside joke to George Lucas,
Yeah.
like a wink kind of or something. But I don't
Mhm.
know if I knew about it being in the same universe.
Yeah, so apparently in The Phantom Menace, which is episode 1 that came out in 1998.
8-ish. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. And E.T.'s race, they have like a senate.
Oh.
They have like a whole
Oh, you
senate.
did mention this. That's right.
Okay, yeah, but E.T.'s it's not E.T., but it's E.T.'s race is in 100% in there. It's not like it's like there,
Yeah.
you know. And so I do really think because there's theories that E.T. is actually a Jedi because he has
Even I kind
powers.
of understand that. Yeah.
yeah because
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
telekinesis, telepathy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's able to heal,
Yeah.
force healing, and So that's why when he sees Yoda, he's like, home, home, because he's like, oh, I know the Galactic Senate, and I remember Yoda. We know who Yoda is, but yeah, I don't know. That's,
I like it.
But I do like the.
I like Easter eggs in general, whether I'm super aware or not. I think they're fun.
I think that's cute, but yeah. That's about all I have.
I think I just have a few stray things. Oh, kind of going back to the personality of ET. It's like he's supposed to be kind of like a genius, or at least has different powers than us, but like he had no chill. When they were trying to get him to be quiet, he wouldn't shut up. He was like that person that you hate to take to parties.
I know.
So awkward and make it weird, which is funny. But I was like, I don't know. I just randomly kind of wrote that down. And then I also put like Elliot wearing the red hoodie. It's iconic. I get why they picked it. Red's a bold color. There's a reason why it's like a part of logos. It's not. Now that I understand that scene a little bit better, it wasn't a joyride they were on. They were fleeing. Red is like, it's iconic. It's not inconspicuous though.
Yeah,
because the whole pack of boys were with them, and they're all in like tan or navy or like darker colors, and it's like the one with the alien is like bright red, stands out. It's still kind of daylight. Like I was like, this is just so. Again, I'm kind of logic policing, you know. So it's like I get it. It's iconic, not inconspicuous though. I cannot say that enough. I just thought that was like way to blend in, Elliot. Way to blend in. Grab the red hoodie.
And also, so the iconic him. It's not actually the moon. It's the sun.
I noticed that too. I was like,
okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because you went on the ride, right? You said,
I think I did, and like when I was 19, I think, in like Universal.
Yeah, and
it was fun
because they make you fly, and I think you do fly over the moon, which I'm like,
isn't it? This is why people think Mandela effects are real, though, and it's just because people make creative choices. Maybe because it's easier to have a moon than the sun. I don't know, less bright, maybe. I don't know, or just is more dramatic. You know, because he'd be a dot, I guess, a shadow if he was up against the sun. I don't know. So, like, that was... I just, for some reason, the red hoodie sore thumb thing just stood out to me. And I'm like, I do want to talk about it. But also, at the end, when Peter Coyote is with the mom, like, he's the only NASA dude there. Like, where'd the rest go?
I don't know. I kind of feel like he ditched them on purpose, though.
Probably.
I feel like he is so passionate. He's just different than everybody else, and he knows that like if other NASA people went, there may be like guns
he was
involved.
The good guy. They established that for sure. It just was just like it just didn't seem probable. I think, you know,
because I know the cops didn't shoot anyone, but like the cops had guns.
I know,
and they're like 8-year-olds, and they're just like
it's weird. And I think my final thought was I just liked that because I read that ET was like basically a mascot puppet. They got a man that was like 2.5 feet tall.
Oh wow!
And like that was part of how he was. I'm sure there was some other stuff, but I'm a puppeteer, so I'm always going to notice the not quite human kind of puppety animatronic stuff and like look into it.
Because that was a real. I mean, you know, some people think that he's ugly or whatever, but like. They really did a good job of making it very lively.
Oh, it looked very real for whatever that species is. It was, okay, that's what this is. It's like, that's a zebra, that's an ET, that's a flamingo, like whatever, you know. And I really want my dog who's, well, she's not sleeping. Grimmy,
she was tired.
She had a couple of days. They were busy, but I want her to be girl ET for Halloween.
Yes.
Just put a little bacon hat on her.
When they dress up, I think... Funny enough, you're saying that it's becoming a Funko Pop.
It is. It's being released soon.
And
I'm a big Funko Pop fan.
Yeah, and also, my sister, that was her favorite. Like, she would rewind that part so many times. That's a crowd pleaser. That was
well done. Yeah. It was well done.
Yeah.
I liked it. And I like Funko for that reason. They pulled the little fandom moments, like from The Office or from whatever, like the throwaway stuff that, you know... reward you for it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was great.
I think that was it for me too. I don't think I had anything else I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I wrote a pun in here and I don't like it, but
now you gotta say it. Now you gotta say it.
Sneak ET.
Sneaky ET.
Yeah, it's dumb, but like he was sneaky in the beginning. but I felt that it was funny that like he did have a element.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like accidental, like sneakiness that he had later on. But he was way faster in the beginning. Like remember when he was like running and stuff like that? He
was probably not hungover from all the Miller Lights and races. Yeah.
But like in the beginning he was so fast, but like later on in the movie there's so many moments where things would have been so much better if he would have just like ran fast or something. I don't know. But I guess he made the bicycles float. So
he did. But that was another thing too. Actually, I did forget one thing. If I saw something creepy in the woods, I would not Hansel and Gretel that the next day and leave like Reese's Pieces breadcrumbs. Like, that's a brave boy.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like, I would have been like, I hope I never see that again.
I know.
I wouldn't have been like, come to me, creepy thing.
I know.
Let's play Hansel and Gretel here.
Like, especially at the edges of San Fernando Valley in the 80s.
F
like,
no. F to the no.
I mean, it's probably like a person,
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he could have been murdered easily.
Yeah, dumb kid. There, I said it.
Yeah. But yeah, I wrote it down. Elliot's an idiot. Like, I literally wrote that. Elliot's an idiot.
I think you low-key, if you're going to have a child protagonist, they either have to be super smart, like boy genius type thing, or they have to be dumb. There's not a lot of in between.
Exactly.
So yeah, I guess you're right. He's kind of dumb. But
yeah.
I guess that wraps it up. So please give us a follow, a comment, a like at social media. Let's Finally Watch It. TikTok as well as YouTube, depending on what format, / wherever podcasts are found.
Yes. Spotify.
Apple, even Pocket Casts, which we found that was a thing this week, thanks to my friend Scott. So, wink, shout out to Scott. I'm Lauren-Blair Donovan, Blairosaurus Rex.
And I'm Clark Canez, other Clarksy.
And next week, we're going to be watching The Sandlot, which October is going to be a heavy month of movies Blair over here has not seen.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to go with theming over patterned, like you, me, both, whatever, and then we're like, oh well, October's pretty much all Blair hasn't seen it, but we're gonna November we're coming back, Clark, with some fresh eyes.
Yes.
So Sandlot,
oh god, there's some coming.
Baseball season, playoff season.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's wrap up and
go Dodgers
next week.
Go Dodgers.
Go Rockies. We're not in
what?
They're not playing.
Oh, they're not. Okay.
I'm
sorry.
I know.
They
didn't do. I stopped even like watching their scores about a month or two ago. But anyway.
Okay. Anyways, sorry.
Maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they got a wild card. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out actually.
That was somebody, a comedian. I think it was Dan Black. He was saying like wrestling's the only sport where like somebody could just run in and they're gonna have a match. It's maybe the Rockies will just like come in and fight whoever.
I would love it. I would love it. We haven't been in the series since 2007, so.
Well, okay. Keep watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.